Hey, delighted to have you with us as always. Today's topic is on your client reporting and why you should be honest in your client reports. Now that may seem obvious on initial kind of hearing of that, but it is really key to building trust, rapport, and in your own performance to be able to deliver moving forward as well. As always, it depends on kind of the service you're delivering, the niche you're working within. But I'll give the example of a digital marketer, and you're creating reports on analytics of performance of campaigns, right? So what's gone well, what hasn't gone so well, what can you learn? And those two bits are the key things. From what hasn't gone so well, what can you learn? What you sometimes see, and I've certainly seen this with other freelancers and working with agencies as well, for example, is they'll try to sort of overhype the success of the campaigns and say that, these things have all gone really well, this is great news, and gloss over any of the things that didn't go as well as they'd hoped or had planned for or had forecasted in the campaign planning. And the problem with that is it seems disingenuous because everybody knows, your clients will understand this, the business owners you're working with, that not everything will always go fantastically well. So it seems a little bit like, well, that seems unlikely that everything would have gone fantastic. So I think you build up, you sort of get to a point where you create a slight distrust, even if you haven't got to that point yet, but you're just sharing success and you think looks fantastic. Actually, you're doing yourself a disservice and can be making things worse. Now, of course, as I say, there likely will be a few things that didn't go as well as you'd had hoped. So what you want to do is input them into your reports. And sometimes, this will be the next phase I see people do, is they will include them. So they won't hide the stats or those metrics, but they'll gloss over them very quickly. And they'll sort of say, oh, that doesn't matter too much because, we've seen a little bit of a turn down in that, metric, but, next month it'll be okay, or it's due to the algorithm or something like that. And I think that's also quite a poor way of doing it, because what you'll do then is, okay, fair enough, you're showing some of the stats, you're not hiding anything, excuse me, but the client will look at it and think, well, we've spent so much more time on what's gone well and we've just skirted over the lessons of what didn't go well, and actually that could be of most value. And that's the key point, really. So what I would suggest is that when you come across these things that don't go quite so well on your learnings and things that you can act upon, is to really highlight them as part of your report. Of course, share the successes, talk about what's gone really well in any campaigns that you've been running. But for those things that didn't go so well, highlight them, bring them out, spend some time on them, because what you're going to show your client then is that A, you're very honest and trustworthy. You're not going to hide and shirk from things that didn't go so well. But B, you are proactive in knowing what to do about it. You bring solutions to the table, not problems. So you say, this is what happened. We expected X, we got Y. We've now looked into the differences as to why we believe that was the case, and now these are the actions we're going to take in the next month, in the next quarter, whatever, the next campaign, to make sure that doesn't happen again. And we're going to put these tests in place to ensure that we can review that performance. And I think it's extremely unlikely a client is not going to be happy with that. In my experience, they'll be very impressed, very pleased, and they will appreciate the honesty and trust, and that will build, as I say, that trust, which can establish long-term client relationships. Without that, it's very difficult to do so, and over time, as you continue to do this, you're just going to have full kind of trust and respect of your client and create a great working relationship. Seems what seems an obvious point there about being honest in your client reports. There are different levels of honesty, and I think if you're very clear and open about things that didn't go quite so well, but explain how you can improve upon them, you're going to really establish some good rapport and trust with your clients. So a key point there in your reporting. I hope that helps, and I will see you on the next one.